Good morning and welcome. This is Jelly Bean's Creative Candy Jar. My name is Jill. Welcome. This is my YouTube channel where we talk about all of the creative things I can get up to in a month. And as always, I shock myself as to what it is I actually accomplished this month. If you're new here, welcome. We talk about, I talk about my knitting, cross stitch, sewing, quilting, and whatever other crafty things I can get up to in a month. If you're returning, thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope you all find something that inspires you and brings you joy. And if so, please like, subscribe, do all those things. It would be great. I appreciate it very much. My son is still really shocked that, let alone one person, but over 300 people like to come back and listen to me chit chat about everything I do in a month. So I always tell you, life has been busy, and it has. And you know what? That's a really good thing. Not a lot going on business-wise, which is yay. It's July. Oh, actually, today is, I think I checked before we start. Yes, July 30th. So just skating in at the end of the month as usual for me. So I tend to film once a month, always near the end of the month, and seems to work for my schedule and everything else. So that works for us. This is July. If you're in the United States, it was the 250th birthday of the United States. We had a great 4th of July weekend. Typically we vacation that week. This year, for other reasons, we didn't. And so my sister and my niece came to visit for the weekend. We had they're in New Jersey. We stayed local. My husband and I took a couple of days off on either end of the weekend. My son and his girlfriend live locally, so they were over every day. It was just a really relaxing weekend, and I think it is exactly what both my sister and I needed. My husband does not sit down, so a relaxing weekend to him is kayaking, fishing, doing all those things. A relaxing weekend to me is sitting outside, doing some knitting or cross stitch, just outside as opposed to being inside. So that's pretty much it for life updates. Oh, nope. You'll see when we get to cross stitch, I do have an FFO. So last weekend, I went to Stephanie, the New England Stitcher's house, and met up with my friends, obviously Stephanie, Sarah, R.I. Lighthouse Stitcher, and Linda Jean. Stephanie is in Rhode Island. I hope that was okay that I shared that. So we all went to her house. We brought all of our cross stitch that we wanted to finish. And I have been very reluctant about finishing a pair. I sew. I know how to sew. As you can see, I've got multiple machines and stuff like that. So I know how to sew, but it was the fear of the unknown. And since Stephanie is the professional pair finisher, it was great to have her help me walk me through it. So I will show you that in a little bit. And then this coming weekend, I know I'm jumping ahead. I'm telling you what I'm doing coming up. I am going to Stitch New England. Pam is having a class and Stephanie's teaching it on how to do a drum finish. And what I had originally planned on finishing in that class is not done yet. And could I race and finish it? Sure. But that's not what I like to do. So I have something else that I'm going to use to do that finish. So that's pretty much what I've been up to personally and business-wise, I think. Yeah. What have I been up to creatively? Let's talk about that. And as always, we start with my knitting. So today I am wearing, I don't know if you can see, let me angle this down a little bit. I am wearing, I love this sweater. It is called the Hippie Wreath. Ooh, did I bring the pattern? No, I didn't. I have it in PDF. I'll put a picture in here. And it's a worsted weight sweater with some spin cycle. That's how I got the color change. And I wanted a subtle color change. You could do this in hot pink and white, hot pink and black. You could do it in any colors. It's a fairly simple knit. It's a yoke sweater, top down. And because it's worsted weight, it's knit on bigger needles. So you theoretically could do this in a couple of weeks. I have a friend, I'm going to angle you back up because nobody needs to look there, who probably couldn't knit it in a weekend. Oh, went a little too high, sorry about that. But I love this sweater. So it is, it's a great tee. I lots of times will wear it with a denim skirt for a more casual look in the office, or you can throw it on with a pair of white jeans in the summer and it's fabulous. So I actually have one finished product and 2 starts for knitting. So let's see. So this week I have shown you before the socks that I was knitting for my mother, and I did them with 3 by the Sea yarn, and I will link them below. I generally, if it's for my husband or my son, I don't block my socks. I just give them to them, put them on your feet, wear them, they'll block themselves. If I'm gifting them, I do block them. So they're blocked. They're just, I did them last night. They're just a little damp still, so by this weekend I'll pack them up. Those are for my mom, so I will pack them up and ship those off to her. And then on Tuesday, I guess it was, I cast on a new pair of socks. So I cast on using this Potions and Pearls, and this is called Harvest Blessing, and it's a nice, really pretty sock set. It's all tangled up in mine. If you're a knitter, highly recommend getting yourself a set of these. They are a must. So it's inevitable for knitters, we drop a stitch, and it makes it so easy to pick up a stitch. I mean, I pick them up all the time with just my knitting needles, but if you have a crochet hook to pick up your stitches, much easier. So highly recommend picking yourself up a set of those. I think you can get them on Amazon. If you can't, I'll link them below. And I cast on a new pair of socks, and I'm actually using a new sock pattern. I'm using the Morning Coffee socks. And I did the cuff, the heel flap, and I just turned the heel last night. I'll pick up and do the gusset and get going on those. So those are in the works. And I cast those on Tuesday. And then, I have a colleague who told me months ago, that he and his wife are expecting. And I knew the moment he told me what I was going to knit for him. And I am going to knit the Ellen's playset, which I did this for one of my son's friends in the bright pink color. And I knew, I had a vision of what I would be knitting it in. So I went and found the yarn. I'm using Miss Babs yarn. It's called Walking on Sunshine. It's a really pretty yellow. And I cast it on the 4th of July when my sister was here, because I'm like, oh, I can do this while I'm chatting with her. Well, I had to rip it out multiple times. So, but I'm just about done with the body. The child is due any day, so I figured I better get going. I measured this morning. It's so cute. I have maybe one more repeat of the eyelets to do, and then I'll do the bottom band and do the sleeves. So I always knit a size 2 or larger for people when I'm knitting for a child. Everyone gets a lot of things when a baby is born, and they outgrow them so quickly. So I want them to be able to use a knitted item. Like once they get to be like a 2-year-old, even though they grow quickly, you usually can get a full season out of something when you're a 2-year-old. At this, when they're brand new, 3 to 6 months, they go through that, and it could be a week and you can be done. So I will finish that up. By the time we meet again at the end of August, it will be done, because I will be needing to gift it, if not in August, shortly after that in September. I always gift for little girls, get a denim skirt, little boys get a pair of jeans. I have the denim skirt already, so that's all ready to go. So that's what I've been knitting. Shall we talk about some cross stitch? I was going to say to you this morning, I'd like to tell you my table is filled with lots of things to show you. And while it's filled with a lot of things, it's because I haven't cleaned up very well. And my goal for today is to hopefully, I'll edit this tonight, but I also tonight, I really want to get this cleaned up a little bit and get some sewing done. But it's Shark Week, and I'm a huge Shark Week fan. I go to knitting on Tuesday nights, and I actually left early because Tuesday night at 9 o'clock was Jaws versus Orca. It fascinates me. If you know me, I do not like pets. I am not an animal person, but I am fascinated by animals in nature. I love aquariums. I love zoos. My husband and I have actually planned vacations around going to zoos and aquariums and things like that. So I'm always fascinated by the animal kingdom. I just don't want them in my house. So cross stitch. Sorry, I got sidetracked there for a second. I have one FFO and I'm so happy with it. So I had shown you quite a while ago that I did the holiday pears from Annie Beez at the Jingle Ball. I did the class. Was that at the Jingle Ball? I think it was. So I did Joy, and it set, I usually keep them hanging. You can see some of my finished things right there. There for a really long time, but Stephanie helped me do it. I used her template. Let me tell you, it was a game changer because it's clear and you can see through to your stitching, so you know exactly where your stitching is going to sit on the pear. It was a game changer. It was like I felt confident tracing around it and cutting it out. I was really happy with the placement. And then I used some Tilda Christmas on the back. And I used a piece of floral wire and wrapped it with some brown felt. And so that's why it's able to bend. So, and then I put a little leaf. And then I just cut a square, I have to clean that glue up a little bit, of wool and put it on the bottom. I did not put any lizard glitter in mine. I just stuffed it really, really well. So this will get put away for my Christmas displays. I'm so excited. So I don't have a lot of cross stitch or other handmade items for my displays, but I did when I was at Stephanie's. You guys really should check out her website. It's amazing. And I picked up the candy cane, and then as I reach way over here, so sorry. This is why it's good to have all this stuff just sitting on my table still. I'm going to make some candy canes out of this red fabric, and they'll just be like stuck in my displays. So I don't have any whips because I have 3 new starts. All 3 of the projects I worked on this month were new starts, and I think I made some really good progress. So the first thing I did was, did I bring, of course I didn't bring it over. Hang on one second. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So I had started last year with some friends, the Primrose Cottage Cauldron, and I'll put a picture in here because I only have it as a PDF, and I printed it out, but I can't seem to find what I did with it. So I had done a color conversion, and I had done it on an 18 count, and I just really wasn't happy with it. Excuse me. So I decided sometimes you just have to do with the recommended items. So that's what I did. So I pulled out all the DMCs and stitched it on the called for 32 count. And I have a plan on how to finish this. So I'm not going to tell you until I'm successful with it, but it needed to be a little bit larger than on an 18 count. So I've made some really good progress. This was a start this month. And actually, here's my little ring. I started this on July 7th. Again, this is what I do with all of my projects. I put and sometimes I even draw on the back as to what the symbols are, so then I don't have to worry about the chart, especially if it's a PDF chart, then I only have to print out one thing. But so this is on 32 count Stormy Night. I started it on July 7th. So I think I did pretty good. So that was one start. And then my next start that I had, actually, I started this in June. Sorry. So maybe we saw it before last time when we talked. And this is what I had planned on doing for my drum class with Stephanie. And these are all the DMCs that get used for it. It is the Tiny Modernist Ocean View drum. I am not going to do this row of houses. I haven't decided if I'm going to do this band, but if I do that band, I'm thinking of doing it in white to look like white caps of the ocean. So, and this is how far I've gotten. So, like I said, I could hurry up and finish this for my class on Sunday, but I'm not gonna. I have something else that I'll use for that. So, and one of the colors that it calls for matches my fabric exactly. So I've been auditioning lots of different things and trying to make some choices. Where it's inside a fish, I use that color, but where it's outside the fish, and it's just like a coral or it's one of the stars. So there's a star right there. And he's the floss is almost the exact color of my fabric. So I have to pick a different color, but I'll find something. And then the last thing I started was, and the only reason I stopped working on the Under the Sea was because I was determined to start something for Christmas in July. It was all in my head that I had to do this. So I knew I wanted to start this. And this is Santa's Advent Calendar by Madame Chantilly. And my plan for when I finish this is to mount it with a piece of a magnet behind this. I'm pointing to it from behind the picture, like you can see it, behind the calendar section, and have a magnet that I can move around for whatever day it is. No, I don't have children that are that young that would want to do that, nor do I have any grandchildren that would want to do that. I want to do that, so I'm doing it. So I got this started, and I am stitching this on, so there's my start, and this is on this 28 count Inca from Fox and Rabbit with all the called for DMC, and I started this on July 25th. Get that? 25th. And I'm not a huge fan of stitching on 28 count, I've decided. I don't really like 2 threads, but I did want this to be a little bit larger, so I am using 28 count. I already owned 28 count, so I'm going to use it. Will I get back to that? Because it's such an easy to see stitch, I will probably, I'll work on it a little bit, but I'll probably save that for Stitch New England in October. I don't want to say I don't need good lighting, but if the lighting isn't great, or if my travel light needs to be recharged, it's a great project to work on because I can see it fairly easily. So that is what I've been doing cross stitch wise as I move more things around on my table. Let's talk about some sewing. Hold on, I have to go get it. Okay, so while I was picking up my sewing, I also decided I would bring over my basket of things that I have acquired since last we spoke. So I've done a lot of sewing, but lots of things are in different stages of completion, so I'm not going to show you anything that's not completed. So, but what I did complete is I made myself a new project bag. Really like this fabric. So, did that on the back. And just really cute little fall stars on the inside. I have decided I am definitely a thread bed girl. Love me a good thread bed. So I made a matching thread bed. So that's in my bag. And what is in my bag, you ask? Good question. So Sarah, R.I. Lighthouse Stitcher, and I have decided we will be starting Plum Street Samplers Turkey Bay at Stitch New England. Now, after I finished making the bag, I could not find, I mean, I've had the pattern, all of the floss, I picked out my fabric, so like I know, like I was ready to go, and I had it in just a generic bag. I could not find it anywhere. I was kind of freaking out. I'm like, are you kidding me? What did you do with it? But I found it, so yay. So that is ready to go. I will, you know, get them all floss dropped, and I'll get it started maybe before Stitch New England, just so I know what I'm doing. And like I said, I've got a lot of things in progress, but nothing else completed enough that I could show you. When I was at Stephanie's, I cut a lot of backs for pillows and things, so I will be finishing those over the course of the next couple of weeks. And hopefully next time we meet, I'll have a lot of things to show you. But let's talk about some shopping. Okay, so as you've noticed, I've been stopping and starting a lot and hoping that will help me with editing. So I'm not a professional by any means. Let's first start with some happiness that came my way. So I told you guys about how my childhood BFF came to visit me in, when did she come? May, June. And we went to a quilt show, and we spent some time crafting. We had such a fabulous time. And then she went on an amazing trip. And I haven't had a chance to catch up with her much since she's been back. But for my birthday this year, she sent me this fabulous, fabulous sign. And it says, oh, it would help if I turned it the right way. Sorry about that, guys. Is that right? Is that right? Yep. Jilly Beans Creative Candy Jar. There's a sewing machine. I had it upside down, completely messed up for you guys. I apologize. So I just need to decide where it is in my space that will be hung up, and I will be getting my husband to help me hang that up, because it's a little bit more, it's got like anchors, so it's a little bit more than a simple nail in the wall. So that's something I got. And then when we went to Stephanie's, my friend Linda Jean brought us all some fabric, and let's open mine. She had gone to a local quilt shop, and she brought me some really pretty patriotic fabric. So that will be going in my collection. Thank you, Linda Jean. And she brought me one from my friend Anne. Anne couldn't make it to Stephanie's, but Anne loves octopi. So you see that there. I won't open Anne's. I'll let her open her own. So I will catch up with her in the hopefully near future. So what else have I purchased? There's a lot of things in this basket. So let me pull a few things out. So Nisi had shared on her stories that this maker on Etsy was having a moving sale. And of course, do I have her tag? Hold on. No, what did I do? You know, I'm really unprepared, and I apologize. I will link her below. But I got this great project bag for socks. So in fact, I will probably put the socks that I'm working on now in this bag. It's really cute. And it has a little wristlet, and I like the little pocket in the front. That was really cute. I really like that a lot. So I also picked up some yarn. So I've picked up, so there was a pre-order from Scrumptious Pearl. This is how her yarn comes, all wound in this ball. So it's fabulous. It's good to go. If you don't have a ball winder in Swift, you don't have to do anything. It's ready to go. And this is Buzz Lightyear. My son loved Buzz Lightyear as a kid. In fact, we took him to Disney when he was 5, and we took him my son's born in January, so we took him for his birthday, and it was right after the Disney Marathon, so it had cleared out of people, and there was nobody there one day. In fact, one day we actually took a picture. It was us and like no one else around. And granted, my son is 32 years old now, so it was a while ago. And he literally would go on the Buzz Lightyear ride and then get off and run around back to the front of and get in line again and go on. And finally, they were just letting him go through the exhibit, not even having to go outside. He rode it so many times. So he will be getting a pair of socks for Christmas, as well as his Buzz Lightyear that he had as a child, that he has his name written on the bottom of Buzz Lightyear's foot, just like in the movie. So I am actually going to, when I knit those, I am going to duplicate stitch his girlfriend's name on the bottom of the socks. So I found it to be funny. And I also picked up, I have wanted to knit with Birch Grove yarn for a while, and she had a pre-order for this sock set. And this is called, oh, there's no name on here. I'm sure I have it somewhere. But I just love her yarn. This is so soft and squishy. I love a good plump sock yarn. I actually, when I knit socks for myself, a lot of times I knit the top of the foot in a 2 and the bottom of the bottom that actually you feel against your foot in a 1, because I can feel the purl bumps and sometimes it annoys me. If it's a good plump squishy yarn, it doesn't annoy me as much. It's a personal thing, I know. Strange. And then I ordered from Lady Dot some velveteen to use on top of my drum that I thought could potentially be sand. So I'm thinking of going with this one. And then if I don't stitch that row of white to be the ocean, I also picked up some trim. This is snow, and I thought that could be added to it to make it look like the ocean. My order from Color and Cotton, I'm in their fabric of the month, and I'm sure everybody else has seen it because I will be getting my August shipment probably next week. But this is 36 count Queen Anne, so I will put that in my collection. And then I went, so on the 4th of July weekend, my sister and my niece were here, as I've told you. And I got a message that my quilts that I had done at the quilt retreat were quilted and ready for pickup. So my niece is like, I'll take a ride with you. So we went over and I picked up my quilts. And it was so funny because I walked in and all of the ladies that work in the store said hello to me. And when we leave, my niece goes, everybody knows you. I was like, don't tell your uncle, because that means I'm there a lot. But so I picked up both my quilts and I brought them home, and I wanted to bind one of them. I thought I had bought binding for the bright colored one. Come to find out I did, and I actually used that fabric for something else. But that's okay, because I went and picked up some more fabric, and I actually like this one better. So you will see that hopefully maybe next time. Maybe not. And my niece liked my quilt so much, she asked if I would make her one. And of course I told her yes. She just needs to let me know what it is she's looking for color-wise and stuff. And if you follow Blackstone Quilting, if you don't, you should. They had posted that a lot of their Christmas fabrics are in. And you know I love a good Sweetwater. And the chili fabric was in, so I went over and picked up, I have probably 2 quilts worth of Sweetwater chili fabric over there, but I picked up some more, and I love the little penguins. He's so cute. I'm going to do another, I think it's called a Nantucket, which is done with 10 fat quarters. So I picked up the 10 fat quarters, and I picked up some additional fabric to add like a border. And then I will bind it in the plaid. Gotta love a plaid binding on a quilt. So I think that is all. what do I have coming up? So as I mentioned, I am going on Sunday to Stitch New England to do the drum class with Stephanie. Hopefully some of you will be there. I heard a rumor that a couple of people are coming. So looking forward to seeing some friends. And it's going to be another beautiful weekend this weekend. We'll probably go blueberry picking on Saturday morning. In my town, there's a family-owned little farm that has blueberry picking, so we've gone twice already this year. And I think they told me this weekend probably will be the last, so we'll go again. I love blueberries, especially when they're fresh like that. Other than that, excuse me, in the month of August, don't have too many other things on the docket. Yeah, I guess that's it. Maybe we'll do some crafting. It's supposed to be beautiful. It's a really rainy day here in New England today. Yesterday, it was a deluge of rain. But that's, oh, I know we need it and all. But it doesn't make me very happy to have a rainy day. But I'd rather have a beautiful weekend than a beautiful weekday since I have to be in the office. So I guess I should go to the office, do some work, come home tonight, edit this video, maybe get to work on some of these projects, finish that baby sweater before the baby's born, finish some cross-stitch projects. So we'll see what we get up to. And until next month, happy crafting. Bye.